Postman, Dr. RO3, City, Hood, Click. Man, y'all know what it is. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. Lock the door on him. Lock the door on him. Hood Postman. Hood Postman. Reporting live. Reporting live. This the Hood Postman, come and check the program. You ain't from the streets, this is something you should know, man. Running from police, gotta grip the whip with both hands. Speeding down the interstate, please do not approach him. 40s in the fridge, got the caddy in the driveway. Get all out of my face, I don't wanna violate. Looked up in the mirror and I told myself, why wait? They took this shit worldwide, you only in 5 states. Came from the four corners with my 4 quarters. Showed them the style, then they stole on us. Times got wild, then they told on us. Dog, it was hard, but we had to keep it rolling. You ain't gotta ask, you know where to find me. I be in the back streets where it get grimy. It's just me and Mel, Rennie looking bride D. I be going hard till I'm in the 5 C's. Know the vibes. I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never had to tell a lie. Let's ride. Know the vibes. I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never told them no lie. Let's ride. Hood Postman. 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 Hood Postman.
Shout out to the Mailroom Nation and the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. You know the vibe. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the dope content hit, it's going to feel like the first and the 15th, y'all. Man, welcome to the Mailroom when you come in and take a look at your mind and examine what's in your heart. It's not a glamorization or it's a glorification. It's always an education. Get on the bus and let the Dr. RO3 and the Shy and Professor Melly Mill take y'all to school. We are in the house. Before they had handguns, they had fair ones. Man, y'all man up out there, man. Quit being weasels. Quit being wimps. Man, shout out to Dr. RO3. Shout out to the Shy, man. Welcome to the Mailroom, man.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. RO3 as the Shy right down there. Very intellectual brother out of the Shy,
what up,
man.
Shy? What's up?
Hey, how you doing, brother? RO3, how you doing, man?
Oh, man, coolin', man. Hey, y'all, it's roll up and no love. Me and real recognize real. When you see real, if you ain't real, you never know real. Do real things, you get real results.
Man, that is good, man. Shout out to that, man. What's going on, Shy? Talk to me, man. How was your day?
It was pretty good, man. Can't complain. Another day, alive, breathing, healthy. So I can't ask more than that.
Okay, man. We finna talk that stuff today, man. Let me start it off, man. The truth about social media and its misconceptions, and social media has undeniably become an integral part of our daily lives, and is revolutionized the way we look at things today and how we connect and how we share information. And it's not without its downside, of course. The toxicity of social media and the growing concern often perpetuates certain individuals or who garner attention for their controversial statements and actions. And some of those people, we could name them, man. Whether we talking about Charlotte, I call him Charlatan White. Charlatan White, Whack 100, Crip Mac, Crip Baby, all these different people, man. And we can't exclude the Vlads and the no jumpers. And I'm not sure about Cam Capone. I'm kind of in the middle with Cam, but definitely Vlad and no jumper. You know, Vlad right now is claiming that he solved the Tupac murder.
That don't
After
surprise
all
me
the
about
interviews with KVD, that's what his conclusion is that he solved the Tupac murder. Charlatan White, right? Let me get on Charlatan White a little bit. Charlatan White is known for his provocative statements and controversial views. And lately he's been making some real controversial views because he's been putting like $20,000 cash on Shedeur Sanders. And I think the mother has spoken out.
Yeah.
Dion is yet to speak out because Dion knows exactly what Charlatan White is doing.
Right.
I don't think Dion is going to address that because he knows what it is. It's just clout chasing at its finest. Yeah. While some may argue that he contributes to the toxic atmosphere of social media, but I think it is essential that we recognize that the platform itself amplifies extremism, extreme voices, extreme points of view. That's what social media does. And we just got to be kind of aware of that. And we got to deal with that accordingly. We can't get too caught up with individuals that come on the internet and for the sole purpose of just clout, likes, shares, and views. Sometimes we got people with, and it's both sides. It's a balance. We got people that come on and share information, get good, solid, and like, you know, my two brothers that I got in the panel today. Crip Mac, on the other hand, here's a whole nother guy, right? He got the Hoover destruction on his forehead. He's gained attention from controversial styles and unfiltered language. You know, he got this type of language where he speaks like, I guess it's kind of coded 55th. Everything you five me, and 5 times. Everything is 5. Everything, you know, everything is built around 5, right? And his behavior is problematic to the overall culture. Being that he doesn't, I don't think he knows, none of these guys necessarily understand their greater impact because they so wildly circulated now. They don't understand the full impact to the culture and the damage. And then we got Sukiana, Sexy Red. We can go on and on and on and on, Doctor. But we're talking about Charlatan White, right?
6ix9ine even jumping on people right now in the deal.
Man, you know it. He should be quiet. Charlatan White is the 2003 version of P.T. Barnum. Anybody know about P.T. Barnum? P.T. Barnum was the hoaxer, the great hoaxer. He was he's snake oil salesman, and he created the 3 ring circus, now known as Barnum and Bailey. P.T. Barnum. So I think that nothing new under the sun. It just evolves, and the day changed, and time changed, and the year changed. That's all that matters. So let's get into it, y'all. We got a bunch on the table, so why we cut it up? You started off, Dr. Bro.
Well, for one, he did the FBI thing. He said the FBI was following him one time. So, you know, Sun Tzu says, in order to know your enemy, you must become your enemy. Now, a lot of people scream 48 laws of power, art of war, seductions, and they got strategies, and they go to the whomever that they do to get their strategies. Well, I say, okay, well, he been playing like this. You know, he took a few lessons out of my book, so I'm going to take some out of his. Well, I'm the one who called the FBI on him and said he had the little girls and the Asian chicks or whatever. And so that gets traction, right? So now he's saying he got 20,000 on Shedeur. Okay, well, Pharaoh got 20,000 for somebody to do something to his son. You want to play the game, we can play that game. You dig what I'm saying? So there ain't nobody willing to stand up to these type of people. Like, y'all know I deal with the geometry and the numbers and the letters and all this other stuff. 5, 5, 5, 5. That's just Baphomet, pentagram, pentagram, pentagram. Like, just think about it. That's all it is. So I'm not finna let them win. I'm not letting none of them win. As long as it takes, I'm gonna battle these guys.
Right on, man. So, Shai, what's your take on some of this stuff? Because I know I sent you a couple of clips of Charlatan White, you know, saying certain things, and he's very controversial. And we all know that he's doing for shock jock value for that purpose. But at the same time, what does it cost us as a people?
Yeah, I think with him, that guy, as you said, you kind of referenced P.T. Barnum Bailey, and what some people may not know is that he started off showing off caged black people that they caged up, showing them around, prancing around like they're animals.
Mhm.
And it's almost to the extent that that's kind of what, and I can't lie, some of the stuff that he says is on target, but at the
Mhm.
same time, his outrageousness and his sickness sometimes outweighs some of the stuff and the potential that he may have that people may be more attuned to. I think one guy I hear a guy say all the time that some stuff has to be presentable before it's acceptable.
Uh-huh.
And the way he presents things, it turns a lot of people off because of his hypocrisy, it seems, with that guy. And he knows what sells. He knows what sells. He's learned what people like. People like controversy. People like mess. People like gossip. And he's damn near mastered it. And people are not going to necessarily listen to certain things like maybe your podcast and the things that you bring on because it's not sugary, so to speak. It don't have the gossip. It don't have the mess. It don't have the have you heard this? Have you heard that? Everybody knows what sells now, and the people who runs these platforms and the people that own these platforms have unfortunately mastered that craft. And like the brother said, it goes back to Baphomet. And just a lot of stuff is just really it's wicked. It's spiritually, it's mentally, it's psychologically, and unfortunately, too many of our people have fallen for this crap, this lifestyle.
It's almost to the degree, well, it is to the degree that they make money off our detriment. Whatever we do, they seem to make $2 or $3 off of it, no matter what we do, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. It's definitely profitable. We've definitely been a people that they've been mooching on for decades, for centuries. And unfortunately, they still profiting off us, whether good or bad. Whether it's something that's good, or whether it's an invention they stole, or whether it's bad with some of this music or so-called music that they putting out. It's making money, but at the same time, it's degrading the culture. They're trying to put us all in the box. They're trying to study. They have studied us as a people, and they realize what some of us are susceptible to. And because if they study that, now they continue on to pile on, and they piling on, and they piling on. And I tell everybody all the time, COINTELPRO is not dead. Operation Chaos is not dead. It's still alive. It's just more technical now. They don't have to necessarily put the boots on the ground, so to speak. It's through the internet. It's through technology. It's through Facebook. It's Twitter and all these other things.
Because the music is controlling everything now. The music controls fashion. It controls ideas. It controls everything. So if we getting garbage music and it's going into the mind, and the mind is becoming trash by this music, and that be the reflection of what individuals like and don't like. Because everybody seemed to be, nobody's going outside the box. Everybody seemed to be following the Pied Piper for some reason. You know what I mean? And these happen to be rappers.
And can I say this?
Yes.
When I first was introduced to Melvin Farmer, he took me down through there. He was introduced to Nat Turner. Now, I want y'all in the comments and everybody listening, like encompass and grasp what I just said. He encountered Nat Turner, a man calling himself Nat Turner, the Nat Turner of the streets, the Nat Turner of the community, who would infiltrate their infrastructure only to turn around and use it against them to propel his narrative. He did the same thing with MCI and all of those guys with Gangster Chronicles. Let me talk about these kids. Let me get these guys over here and let's talk about these kids. And let's try to, yeah, man, we read the Monster Cody books. Man, we gang bang. Yeah, we did this and that, but we for the community. We got the mayor behind us. We got this and that. And guess what? Gangster Chronicles, they bought into the co-op. And as soon as Mr. Nat Turner got some traction, what did he do? He spit right in Gangster Chronicles' face. This is a man who studies to manipulate is a dangerous man. You understand? Now I can see you going to school to learn to be a car salesman or an insurance man or somebody who sells Humana or somebody who, you know what I mean, becomes a lawyer. But ultimately, if you are one of those shade tree mechanics and you learn a few things here and there just to get over on people and you're not really yes, I can go out and give blankets and bologna to the homeless and take a picture just so my congregation can fill my basket when I pass around the benevolence. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. We talking about pseudo. It got a P right in front of it. That capital P, that lowercase p, whatever, that 16, that number 7, that letter that's being used, it's powerful. How do you go from Nat Turner to pimping in California? How do you go from Nat Turner to Crip rolling 60 with 8 trays? How do you do this if you ain't infiltrating? That's why I call him Charlie Brasco. He infiltrated all of these institutions and all of these communities and all of these people only to turn it against you while he's saying, I'm for the white man.
He turned around in that same situation. He turned around, yeah, nana, nana, boo, boo. This is a grown man repeating nursery rhymes. Yeah, nana, nana, boo. That right there should have told you everything. And you're right, he did snatch the carpet from under, because he had Melvin believing one thing, and he had Ayatollah and others believing that, you know, he was on this Nat Turner thing. But at the same time, it was all just deception.
Smoke and mirrors. It was pseudo. Like
anybody. Wait a minute. Forgive me. Where's my manners at? Shout out to the moderators.
Shout out to moderators in the chat.
To the moderators in the chat that's keeping this thing going. Appreciate you guys. Shy, I mean, you know, I know you down in Texas now, and you see it. Is that conversation even come up in Texas now, or is Texas like done with it? We don't care, you know.
Honestly, where I stay, no. I think there's a few people that watch him, but as far as like a serious conversation about that guy, no, not where I am anyway. It doesn't. Not nobody that I know or familiar with. I don't even know a lot of people even know of him, believe it or not, which could be a good thing. But yeah, down here where I am, nah, I've never heard nobody outside of the YouTube and a few people I know that don't even pay attention to that guy.
What I have noticed, he doesn't. Sorry, he don't seem to go to Chicago a lot.
He can't.
Okay, go.
He can't. He can't go to Tennessee. He can't. It's places he can't go. It's SOS. He can't go. He can't go to California. He can't go. He just can't go.
And if he go, he definitely sneak. He definitely don't let nobody know. Or he'd pull a 6ix9ine, he'll videotape it, and while he's on the plane, then he'll post it as if he's there currently. So that's something that I can see him doing, and I'm sure he's probably have done.
Like
real incognito.
Even when he had the interview with Queen's Flip years ago, he wasn't outside. He stayed in the hotel room that whole time. He didn't go out there like that. He definitely
wasn't walking around Queens or Harlem or Brooklyn.
Pharaoh go to Queens. I mean, Pharaoh go to New York, and I'm all over the city walking around looking. But he's an internet novelty. You know, like a whoopee cushion. Just make fart noises. It's funny for everybody. Everybody loves. You can play with the whoopee cushion.
Yeah,
come on.
And one thing I always keep in mind too, I don't think that he really understands a lot of stuff that he used to say early on, as far as when he used to he talked about Allah and the Muslims and all the other stuff. He got to remember, those people don't forget. Those people do not forget. They're very patient, and they hit when you least expect it. So that's another thing he got to watch out for. So he ain't got you to watch out for people in Chicago and LA and so on and so forth. You got to watch it for them other people too, because I'm telling you, they got to record it. They got it saved, and they haven't forgotten.
You know, me myself personally, I'm driven by two philosophies: to know more about today about the world than I did yesterday. And that's what because these things are very fleeting. These one person after another, there's something in the feed, in the algorithm, something that's trending. And that seemed to be the course that we are taking today in today's time. Our news go like, I even got some feed to where KVD got beat up. I don't know how true that is, but that may just be clickbait. So there's clickbait, there's clout, there's deception, there's hoaxes, and that just overall I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn, in our society or on the internet, and I don't know how we welcome everyone. Right on 03. I don't know how we get past all that, me personally. Maybe you guys got some more thoughts on that.
Say the last part again.
I say maybe you got better thoughts on that than I do. I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, just to jump in, my thoughts. I think that it just comes to a point where honestly, you really have to. And I know people may say it's an old way, but you got to really put a lot of this stuff down. Some stuff you just kind of have to balance what you watch on television, what you watch even on YouTube, who you listen to on social media. Because a lot of this stuff is very poison. I think people take it lightly of how this stuff can infiltrate your mind and in your spirit, whether it's negative, especially the negative stuff. I don't think people understand how it affects our bodies and our everyday lives. So sometimes you might have to turn off the TV, or you might have to turn off the internet and get it to something that you may not see on a daily basis in order to have that balance. Because if you don't, you're gonna be oversaturated with just what we see every day, and before you know it, you ain't thinking no more. You got everybody else thinking for you, or you becoming sheep, or you just following the traditional what's going on at the moment. You just falling right into it, the traps.
I don't think people understand hedonism. And let me explain. Hedonism is an intoxication. It's like when we become intoxicated by certain music, right? I could be saying humming a certain tune, and the next thing you know, that tune will be in your head. I mean, that you picked up on it and you somehow became seductive to it, or it became that, you became drunken by it, so to speak, if I for lack of a better word. But we all walking around drunk off the same stuff. Right. Some of us, not all of us, but some of us that's aware of it, that know how to deal with this stuff, can able to move past it because we know what it is. We know how to recognize it. Oh, this is the devil trying to attack, And we talked about the devil, how the devil controlled music yesterday. I talked about how the devil was kicked out of heaven or whatever, and just to explain it, because most people understand things along biblical terms, so I use that source to explain things. And the devil was kicked out of heaven because of he was in control of music. So he came to earth to control it. Now he's in charge of hip hop. And he's using hip hop to control the mindsets and the destinations of people around the world, whether it's through music, fashion, television, whatever. It's all controversial now.
So on this aspect, you hit me up the other earlier and was like, and I say, yeah, man, I'm finna go and get these people they dopamine for the day.
Give it to them.
So
wait a minute before you give them that dopamine. Who's that character behind you?
Oh, that's that man. That's that man. Long live Roy Lee, man. I was in a Roy Lee documentary interview. They took that picture, and I've been holding on to it. But that's
the one with the mask on too.
Yeah, that's Pharaoh 13 right there. He's he's different. Yeah, that guy different. He did.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, explain to us though. Explain your point.
Dopamine is responsible for allowing you to feel pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. Right. So it's just like when you drink coffee. Your brain releases dopamine to add to the sugars in the substance that you putting in, and it creates this euphoric whatever, or this energy and this and that. So when people get on here and they hear things that they've never heard, or they hear them in a way that is entertaining, tanked. That's why it's in the middle of it. People, they're different. Their spirit changes, or their demonic id or it arises. You dig what I'm saying? So when you hear, that's why I needed to choose my words wise. So I needed to listen to y'all and then choose my words even wiser. Knowing that dopamine is the dope of this internet. Knowing that the frequency, the frequency within the dopamine, and this, every syllable, every word, every sound, every color, every visual, knowing that people, when you see yellow, you're going to yield. When you see red, you are going to stop. Sexy Red's name is Sexy Red's name because you are going to stop and look at her. You understand? Just like the lady in the red dress with the Illuminati symbols and whatever Roxanne put on the red light. The psychological mechanics of what they are doing is utilizing the frequency and the dopamine to keep people glued in, just like this. Now, unbeknownst to these people's ignorance, they just don't know what it is. I learned the color of psychology through taking graphic designs. I learned about typography and a whole bunch of other things. So I understand why the stop sign is red. If it was green, you wouldn't stop.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, just to piggyback on what the brother said, he's definitely right. It is a release of dopamine, whether we're eating, whether we're watching television, or whether we, you're participating in grown folks' business. It all releases dopamine, and a lot of people have to understand is that release of dopamine and the amount of the dopamine that's released, that's what causes the addiction, because your body craves. That's why when people tell you the first time they, do drugs, it releases so much dopamine into your body that you crave it and you really can't control it. And that's when the addiction kicks in. It's because now your body wants that, because that dopamine is over released in your body. Now it's almost like it's doped up and you got too much in there. So whether you're watching television, like you said, trying to get that satisfaction with gossip, or trying to get that satisfaction with music, you fiending for it. You waking up in the middle of the night, turn on your phones. You can't go out. The people lose their minds when they go to, because they need to get on this Facebook. They need to get on Twitter. They need to see what's going on. They need to see the latest gossip. Like brother said, all that goes back to dopamine. And I think a lot of people underestimate that chemical. And like he said, I studied also, a little psychology. I work in the social work field now, and just understanding drugs and how it works and how it operates. Now I can understand a little bit better why people struggle with so many different things. And it's just like somebody who's on drugs. A lot of them still are in denial that they even have an addiction. And that can also be dangerous because they don't think they have a problem. It's like we're saying people who's addicted to gossip, they don't think they have a problem, but they can't go a day without hearing it or seeing it or even participating in it. And that kind of goes back to your boy Charlatan White. That's dopamine for him too. And he like you said, he started off as this big community activist and passing out pizzas and all this other stuff. So now you see where the money is, and you see where all of the so-called glory is, although it's bad glory. Now all of a sudden, this is what you're more attracted to. I don't see you. I don't watch him often, but I don't see him doing no community activism at all.
Who in their right mind would send their kids over to Charleston White?
Especially after he has said, "I will grape your 9-year-old daughter. I will grape your son." All women, or some women, need to be raped and beat. How? It's not like, it doesn't make no sense at all. We're talking logical. We're talking now, Pharaoh, I'm gonna play the game because I'm the only one that's gonna play the game. But when I hear all of these networks and all of these black people, what's the word? Negating that he said certain things, and they're like, well, I need to get them views. I'm gonna bring him because he say some good things. just like I've been illustrating before, Mel. You know how many preachers get in the pulpit? The word was with God and God was the word and this and that, and is having sex with your wife, stealing the building fund, beating their children, and then later on it comes out that he's been playing with little boys. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, and we definitely in the era of, I mean, it's nothing new but arrested development. A lot of people's mind, and just kind of go to the comment I see at the bottom. He said these kids' brains are still developing, so they are easily influenced. And to kind of go back a little bit, just to touch on the historical thing, that's one of the reasons why they had to create kindergartens. It was based on the German model because they said that, well, the parents' minds, we can't get them, but how can we control the next generation? So they had to create an educational system where they can get your kids at the age of 3 or 4 and 5 and 6. And that's where the Head Starts and the kindergartens come from. So now if they get them at that age, they don't have to worry about them when they get adults because they have been so indoctrinated and their minds have been so influenced at that age at 3 and 4 and 5. You don't have to worry about them rebelling against you when they become full-blown adults. And I think that's kind of what we are definitely. And unfortunately, too many of that is within our community. Too many of the minds have been arrested developing, and they not developed. They might be developing physically, but mentally and psychologically, they still stuck in infancy. I used to listen to a brother. Named Jawan.
Go ahead. Finish
I was just about to say I used to listen to a brother named Jawan Conchufu back in the day.
I'm familiar with Dr. Conchufu.
Familiar here? Yeah, and one thing he said that will always stick with me. He said if you can destroy a boy in childhood or in boyhood, I'm kind of paraphrasing, you don't have to worry about him growing up to be a man. And a lot of our young men and women are destroyed. Him
and Amos Wilson was the two most leading psychologists on growing little black boys growing up into manhood. They had a in-depth philosophy and understandings on how to, develop our black children, and grow them up right, and what not to let them indulge into, because there's an overindulgence into the society. And what we have to understand too, and going back to what you was talking when we was talking about your church, I saw T.D. Jakes, right? Spiritual leader, great speaker, organizer, but yet when he parties with P. Diddy. For me, I got to question that, because if you doing this right here, and I see you hanging with the backdoorians, I call them backdoorians, y'all know what I mean, then I got to look at you different, TD. Because there's a reason why you over there, but you coming over here and you using this platform, this great big platform God has blessed you with, to share this information, because you break down that Bible really, really well. You do it with the best of them, whether it's him, Creflo, or Joel Osteen, and some of the other ones, right? But I don't think that is benefiting our society in a way that it benefits them. Their families is doing really, really well. Their kids go to college, they raised up well, and and they have, they have funds, they have money, they have extravagance, they do anything they want, but yet the people that's coming there to get fed, to get this information to help correct their lives is like a navigational system, repositioning yourself. I think that's what people go to church for, is to reposition themselves, because they traveled a course that ran into a lot of different obstacles and different things that fell in their way that wasn't necessarily gratuitous to the life, right? So they had to reposition themselves, and sometimes they go to these individuals and spiritual guides and teachers and lecturers, and they get them back on a correct path based on the religiosity and the biblical sense, in the biblical terms of what Bible is, because I believe most of these things have a criteria to judge between what's right and wrong. If it don't have anything else, it has that. But when you see these individuals hanging out with certain individuals that we know that has a dark side, then we got to say, oh, but what is this? We got to look at that. But anyway, go ahead, Doctor. You want to jump in there?
Now, Shy, you see how you brought up the diminishing the male essence while they're boys.
Yes, sir.
This character, he uses the same script, speaks the same lit, but in the same conversation says, "I'm going to your daughter, and women need to be such and such." No, this is contradiction. Contradiction. That's why CON is in front of it. Most of the time, every time you see con, if we're not communicating, we're conversating. See what I'm saying? So,
I like Geno Jennings too. Somebody said they like Geno Jennings. I like Geno Jennings. He bring the heat.
oh yeah, Geno, he's good. Oh yeah, and shout out to everybody from my channel. I put the link in the pin. If you want to come over here, I'm only just spreading the message. So if you want to come over here in the chat over here, your chat is still be seen from over there. But if you want to come over here and engage with the people on the hood on Professor's page, come through. Just click the link and just come over here. But yeah, my thing is we're talking about a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, not just a few. All.
And he definitely liked to quote the Bible. He said he don't believe in the Bible, but he definitely liked to quote it. His mama said this, his mama said that, and mama did.
I remember when this was his excuse for disrespecting Nip, DMX, and a lot of dead people. Jesus said, "Let the dead bury the dead." All out of context. Dig? Yeah. See, because Maria and and Paul and man, you talk like a janky fox. That's jive. Y'all grew up in the Maryland. Look at jive, turkey.
Somebody asked y'all a question. Do it in y'all. Yeah, we remember Eddie Long. I'm sure all three of us remember.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm speaking of. Everything that I said, I spoke. I just didn't want to say his name, but yeah, it was him. He's the one. Like, how do you have the mega church, biggest church? You're bigger than all of them. You're bigger than Jake's. You're bigger than Ricky Rush. You're bigger than all of them. But you mean to tell me you're posting pics of you doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger in the bathroom, and this picture is the same picture that you were when you were doing a little boy from your congregation, and they associated the picture? Like, come on, we don't want to play with people just talking the truth. We talking about administrating it, like living it, like you know what I'm saying, like porn, like for real. You can, I don't care. You can put on ma'am, check this out. A woman can be on a period and put on all white. That is confusing. That is confusing. How? What? You kidding me? Just because you put on a suit and tie, that makes you a businessman? You might be getting ready to get put in the box. I don't know. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What? I come from a society where in my neighborhood, there's a lot of Muslims. As soon as he started disrespecting the Muslims, I was like, nah, I never seen Muslims do what you said. Now you in Fort Worth, where it's totally different. Y'all still trying to gangbang like y'all from California, like on some CB4 stuff. You did? So nah, I the Muslims I seen, they were more upstanding than the Christians I seen. Most of the Christians I seen are utilizing the government to get them food programs to put them in the Hispanic and the other people's communities and not the blacks. And they're getting that money with these 501c3s. And they were all drug dealers and game runners. We talking about game recognized game.
Yeah.
I've never seen no damn do that.
It's the same energy. They just transferred it to a new product.
Exactly. I've never seen an imam or anybody of the Muslim faith get a 501c3, get a food program, get the money from it, and then go buy minimal groceries and then give it to the other community. I've never seen that. I've seen it in the Christian world, though.
Well, the Christian world is in lockstep also, because Every Sunday is the most segregated day of the week, right? Every Sunday, right? But yet, when it's all said and done, all that money that's generated from all those different mega churches, all the way down to the tiniest churches, all that money get deposited and went to the bank of white supremacy.
Yeah.
Come Monday morning.
Oh.
Come Monday morning. I don't care how much your preacher say this and that, and he talk this stuff and talk that talk. And he gonna sow a seed, just bring him $40 more, and you know, and you're gonna have 50 blessings, you know. And the Quran speaks about, you read that part of that dude where they talk about the smooth sayer?
Yeah. Even in the Christian Bible, it talks about in Titus, ever learning but not understanding the true knowledge of God and that spirit. Same thing. Like they don't ever practice what they preach. They only practice it and preach it so they can get paid.
Yeah. And that's why it says many things. Study yourself, approval. Know them by their fruits.
Right.
You know, you got to know them by their fruits, and that's why you need to. If that's the way you believe, you really need to study it for yourself. So something in your spirit can tell you, hey, that ain't right. You know, I've had plenty of conversation. I'm not saying I'm the holiest man, but I have read the Bible. And I do know that when somebody's taking stuff out of context, I'm like, I don't think that's right. and I think that, you know, a lot of people study for themselves instead of just on Wednesdays and Sundays. Right. I think a lot of people probably be open up to some of the game that's going on in a lot of these churches, and some of these women may be, because really, they all said and done, for the most part, the church is really held up by the women. And then I've really seen in a lot of cases where some women have actually went against their man when they trying to tell them, hey, that ain't right what this man is preaching. You show me that in the Bible. And some of these women will bail against their
why though, Shy? Why is it held up by the women? Because their emotional connection to it. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Women have a more emotional, and we're more irrational. We're more rational. As most men are more rational.
And they are indoctrinated that way. That's how the Bible is written, because it says in a proverb, a wise woman buildeth up her house, but tear it down with her own hands. The book actually gives the woman the power in the book. So the preachers preach that way. They usurp the authority of the man. This is why you see all these women in the church, because they have usurped the authority and they have given them a pseudo sense of, hey, when you come into church, you coming to see Jesus, but your husband don't know you coming to get to Jesus through me first.
Exactly.
I read this meme where this lady was complaining about, I'm tired of. Shout out to Rennie Lowe. Jump in there, Rennie. Let me put a link in this thing. You want to jump in? Hold on.
Yeah, waiting on you anyway, Rennie. Oh, and if y'all want to know what I'm chewing on, I'm chewing on homegrown lemongrass out my backyard. It's just good for your teeth health.
A miswak. Is it a miswak? Or something like it?
Huh?
Is it a miswak bush?
No, it's lemongrass.
Okay, yeah, they got something called a miswak bush. Come from Africa, where you chew on it to clean your teeth and all, keep your breath fresh and all that.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh yeah,
it's the same thing. Just chewing on lemongrass. Yeah, it'll keep your tongue clean.
Yeah, that's what the miswak do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's a lot going on, man, that we just have to pay more attention to and not just be ready to accept, things on the surface. We can no longer afford that thing that's sitting on the surface and take it and value it and take it for just the value, a deeper value than what it's worth, because there's a lot of fool's gold out there and people are selling it, man. Licorice root does the same thing. Yeah, that's what it's called a licorice root here, but it's called a miswak from Africa.
And just to kind of touch back on what you were saying, as far as the miseducation, I even remember when I was younger, I had some of the until I started, of course, studying myself, how some of that self-hate comes definitely comes across the pulpit. We were told that certain people were God chosen people, and we were the Gentiles and so on and so forth. And until you actually start reading things for yourself, that also has affected, our community tremendously in a negative way, because of we thinking that we somehow cursed, and we thinking we somehow these people that just came out of nowhere, and that also plays on the conscience of Black people as well, then and now. I still know some people today will take up for some folks that's pretending than the folks that really are. So
wow,
it's
talk
yeah.
about that.
So Sean, let me ask you this: what's your take? I mean, you've been looking at this Keefy D stuff, Suge Knight, Puff Daddy. Let's see, we got Charlatan White, we got even Brick Baby and Crip Mac, all these different characters, right? There's crossing paths with one another, but I want to get back to the Keefy D thing, because now they got somebody's out there on the internet alleging that Keefy D, they had a picture, they kind of, did themselves like he had a black eye or busted lip, but you could tell it was, made up. But anyway, they're alleging that he got beat up while in custody. I guess giving it to the fact that he, allegedly saying that he did something to Tupac or whatever. Now they're saying something's going to happen to him because of what happened to Tupac. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, honestly, I really have to filter what I hear these days, because you just really know. I look at this a lot of times today. It's like the Truman Show. Everything is on the camera. Everything is scripted. You indirectly told what to say, what to do. It's all most of it is all a script. So I even saw, just to kind of I saw something on they were supposed to be out there in Palestine, some CNN newscast. To come to find out it was fake. They were supposed to be running from some shells, and it was a fake a fake situation. So even with that, as far as the Keefy D thing, you just never know. I mean, with this AI stuff now, this technology, they got the ability to do all types of stuff. So I'm really have to filter a lot of stuff that I, watch and what I hear, because you just really don't know in today's time what's real and what's not. So with him, who knows? I mean, he act like he wanted. I don't understand why he get on these shows and he brag. It seems like he bragging about everything that he did and said, and some stuff didn't make sense. It's just, I don't know.
But let me put it in context for you, though. So he originally got his deal from the U.S. attorney, right, which is the federal government, right? So if the federal government was involved, that means that the federal government usually spend anywhere from 2 to 5 years following, investigating, doing surveillance, you're tapping your phones, and et cetera, right? So with that being said, I can't believe that they had all this surveillance on Keefy D and they wasn't in Vegas too. So if they were in Vegas, they actually know what happened. For them to come to Keefy D and then offer him a deal, and then Keefy D believe in his mind that he somehow has immunity against this situation, because he was walking around like what's the guy name over there? Sammy the Bull. Remember Sammy the Bull killed all of them people. But the fact that he provided substantial assistance of information to the federal government, those murders meant nothing. Sammy the Bull could talk about any murder he wanted to.
Right.
And there was nothing done to him, right? We have seen the same thing with Whitey Bulger. Whitey Bulger was a federal informant for many, many years until he crossed the line with them. And then later, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, they put the grab on him. But same thing, he murdered countless of people, and the federal government sat there and watched him do it. So I'm saying that to say this, that I don't think Keefy D is exempt from none of that. I think that they, based on maybe Keefy D don't have no more to give him, or they just took their hand off of him, or they decided that he was no longer useful for their program. I don't know. because I think the ultimate goal was P. Diddy Combs. Because who don't want to take down a billionaire? We know that they don't took down Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, Prince. They don't Robert Kelly. They don't took down all these different people, you know, that we looked at and said that they were some brilliant musicians or had just a multitude of talent. You know, whether it was through drugs, whether it was through deception, or whatever we may believe happened to them may not even be in the real reality. In other words, our experience and perception of reality may have been altered.
Yeah.
So when I look at go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, yeah, if they were, I mean, you know, it's likely, and like you said, all the situations you brought up with Whitey Bulger, Samuel Bull. I'm gonna give you a couple of. You had the guy from New York, Greg Scrapper. He was a hit man and a made man. I think the Colombo family, one of them families over there, and he was definitely an FBI. The guy who played Casino, his real the guy Robert De Niro's character, Lefty Rosen. His name in real life was Lefty Rosenthal. Well, come to find out, he was an informant. So it's just not surprising that the government has a lot of informants on their payroll, and these people are out here committing crimes. It's definitely not. It's nothing new. It's definitely old. They have so many, and even on the street level, even the ones that situations we don't know of. A lot of these guys telling on things in the street and getting away with it, and we wondering why they out the next day. And you know, so this stuff like that is always going on, and the government set back, and for whatever reason. There are many reasons why they allow her to do it. The same thing, you know, we can talk about the drugs and all this other stuff that they sat back and watch happen and just let it go because somebody was giving them information. I mean, Lucky Luciano worked with the government. I mean, so it just goes back so far. And with the Tupac thing and Keefe D, it definitely doesn't surprise me that if they were watching him and surveillance him, I think they do know what happened to both Biggie and Tupac. I think they got surveillance. I think they got transcripts. I think they got all types of stuff. And for whatever reason, they just holding it.
Well, when you look at the Keefe D, the Suge Knight, the P. Diddy Combs, all three have been surrounded by death. I'm talking about multiple deaths, not just one or two bodies, a multitude of people. And now you got Suge Knight coming out like him and Keefe D is the best of friends, talking about man free Suge Knight, talking about free Keefe D. You know, but you don't lost a multitude of guys that was connected you behind this situation with Keefe D. Even though you and Keefe D was friends at 9 years old and y'all played Greater Compton football with your cousins, Ronald Downey, your dad was the coach, and so on and so forth. Eazy-E was over there. So all these individuals been knowing each other. They've been in the bed together. They played in the sandbox together, but who were they really playing? You know?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know how, you know, true it is, but even some years ago, I even heard that some people tried to say that Death Row was a front company. I mean, if it was, it don't surprise me because how many front companies we've seen is the CIA, the FBI have to run their operations. So if Death Row was a front company, it definitely would surprise me. Not at all.
No, it wouldn't surprise me. It just wouldn't, man. Because not with some of the things I don't seen and read and coming to man. And not just to go off the topic a little bit, I want to add this. There's a book, right, for anybody that follow religion. I'm talking about follow it. I know you guys follow it with blind faith and all that, but go read a book. It's called The Book Your Church Don't Want You to Read. If you read that book and you take in that information, when you come out of that book, you're going to have a whole lot of questions for your pastor, deacons, bishops, and prayer worshipers and leaders and all that. You're going to have questions for all them different people. But you got to go in it and read it. His God name is something Leadom. But anyway, but go ahead back to your point, man. I just wanted to interject that.
No, I was pretty much. I was saying that's something that I've read, and it wouldn't be surprising me if it was. I mean, you know, as many people that was in the record industry from its very beginning. I mean, shady businesses, mafia, government. I mean, they've all been invested in the record industry, all the way to jazz.
Insurance
So
policies.
insurance policy. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
And I like to offer this. It's always in the name. If you look at everything for what it is, it's always in the name. Death row. A man in an electric chair. They're frying people's minds. The logo means something. Let me go and get Amazon. That little line and then that little arrow from A to Z.
We're talking about logos, right?
Yes. That resembles ENIN. That's what it resembles. Right? You can go throughout all of these logos. You can go throughout all of these company names. You can see where God is. You can see where the devil is. You can see where the chaos is. See where the peace is. Colorado. Man, I looked up Grotto and I said, man, what? I'm gonna let y'all go through that. Y'all see if I can give away from the comments. As we see happening in Colorado, the first 5 letters is color. Right? The first 5. So look at what happens when you add color to a situation that had no color. Or it was a diluted sense of it. Or it was just a little pepper. It wasn't a full season. They are really seasoning their seasons up there. And these people are like, it's a Dion. This is the Sanders effect. This is what happens when you add color. So what happens when you add dopamine? What happens when you add subliminal and indirects and then you add rhythm? What happens when you start necromancy spells of the word? Live, equal, wow, life, Eli. Like, what happens when you start doing magic? What happens when you start doing visuals?
Yeah, your audio was going in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, your audio, Duke, your audio was going in and out. I think you probably got on too many devices or something. Because it's feedback. I hear the feedback.
The mic is muted.
Yeah, it must have.
Okay. You hear feedback when I talk, Brother Mel?
No, you
Okay.
could.
I think I was gonna. Yeah.
Probably because you're sharing, Duke. That's probably it. But anyway, go ahead, Sean.
Oh no, I definitely agree. It's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of meaning and symbolism, and that's I read books years ago, and they was talking about how Shell, gas station, all these different symbols definitely has meanings behind it, and it's so subliminal that when we pass by it every day, and to us, even the McDonald's symbol, so we pass by it every day. It means, very little. People don't take the time out to kind of see and invest in, who started these companies, who were behind it, what they actually believe. And it's definitely even from just Star Trek. I mean, just so many different symbolisms that in so many different things that we just kind of just casually walk past or just kind of overlook. But it definitely has meaning.
Yeah, we're now knowing that. Now we're finding out that these companies, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State, I think it's State Mine, State something. But anyway, they own just the largest percentage of largest percentage of all companies, corporations in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all the land they banned up. They banned up a lot of land. They banned up a lot of different other corporations. They merged in corporation. We just had a merger here. Well, not Exxon just merged with or just bought Pioneer. another oil company. So it's like a lot of things are merging. The television networks are merging. So sooner or later, we're only going to be dealing with a few companies in different sectors, whether it's food, whether it's entertainment, whether it's news. We only be dealing with a few companies and corporations.
Right. It may be me, Duke. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Does it sound better now, y'all?
Yeah, I think it is. And the only thing is that to me when we talk, I don't know what it is. Yeah, that ain't not a bad thing. But people can still hear. I'm gonna go on mute, and then I think we just mute.
No, you're good. You good.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I was saying, y'all. Basically, it's the visualism, the symbols. We come from hieroglyphics. We come from African tribes, Swahili and Sabidi, everything. They learned how to use that against us. They learned how to use voodoo against us. They learned how to use shamanship or whatever. They learn how to use the charlatan, the mentality, the Buddhistic mentality. They learn how to use the Asiatic mentality against us in this westernized culture. You understand? It's just like I'm studying in alternative medicine. They say that westernized medicine is orthodox when it is not, and they call other medicines unorthodox. It's crazy that in the 1800s they stop allowing people to use castor oil and witch hazel and for healing.
Man, when I was growing up, Duke, that's all we had. We had castor oil, cod liver oil, and aspirin. That's all we had.
Yeah. I mean, even looking at our word pharmacy. I mean, look at where it comes from. It comes from the word pharmakia. What does pharmakia mean? Curse. So it's like they know exactly what they're doing. I mean, like Brother Pharaoh said, they studied us, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, in some cases they master. They master it.
And on top of everything, the algorithm is not just pushing people's agenda forward. Every word that we say, every visual that we input, it is taking it in, and it's in the database. And so that suggestive marketing or suggestive anything, everything that we've been giving it intel. So it knows everything because it is recording. It is taking us down into letters and numbers and however it reads it in the script, and it is playing it back. So if you got 1 million black people saying, "Nah, for real, hey, you man, on the dead homies, crib," guess what? You're going to see that everywhere, and this is the norm. If you see money, like the glorification of money, hay bales on the shoulder, money on the floor in the kitchen, spelling out words and stuff, you get these images, then you start hearing these kids cursing around the cool uncle or the cool aunt and this and that. This is the internet is creating all these programs. And so now here goes this, all right, we got to shoot dopamine over here. Got to shoot dopamine over here, dopamine over here. Okay, at this time, the dopamine is high at this time. Okay, these people are going to do this, and we're giving it our personality. So what it's doing is feeding us.
You know what I notice about the internet is that language is everything. It means a lot, right? But what I do know about the English language, one word can have 4 different meanings, depending on the context of which it's using, right? So when we saying certain things on the internet, like when people say things direct, how you talked a minute ago, Duke, and you didn't use that word, you said great. So the algorithm don't know how to rational that.
Right.
But we as humans, we know what you meant.
Right.
So it's great that you put it in that context because it allows it to keep going. But I get people on here who don't know how to navigate this internet or know how to be a presence on this without going into different type of languages and being too explicit in their explanation, the channel gets hit, and I was having a problem with that. But I have to be more selective about like people like I bring you and Shy on and Bam, and because Bam is learning. A shout out to the Bam, matter of fact, and we learning how to talk and communicate on here without it affecting the channel, and that's where we have to be more effective in that, because what we're saying is really we're talking to our people in a way that we could talk to a 5-year-old. Sometimes we have to use a higher power word to explain certain things, and then when you go to it and break it down and break down to the root and get a full understanding, like when you talked about pharmacy, Shy, and you say where it come from, right? Because you'd be surprised at how many people don't understand that, because they rely upon just what's in their own head, and often what we're thinking is probably just going on inside our head and probably don't exist nowhere else, because you haven't allowed your mind to reach outside of it and absorb and take in other things, read and find other things and solutions and terminologies and definitions that the other world might be using on the other side, but we may not use in the Western world. So we have to be conscious that we can't be local minded, is what I'm trying to say. We have to be worldly. We have to be around the world. We have to understand the universe. And I think we get a better outcome at that.
We know about. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We know about euphemisms, metaphors, similes, double entendres. A lot of people don't even know what anagrams are.
Uh-huh.
You did. So I listed a few, and in those few, just those few, if you just think and about what you're actually saying, why letter T is right there, why letter 9 is I right there, why is P in front of every one of these kind of words. Why do they keep putting P right there? Matter of fact, why do they put U after the A in these types of words? These are mathematical magical equations. And a lot of people, just like what we're saying, a lot of people, we haven't been trained that. Those pencils in school, those were wands when we were kids.
Remember how you used to take them and you do them in a certain way and they'd be
cursive. These are wands. This is
Yeah.
Harry Potter all over. This is wizards, witches, and warlocks, but they don't understand that when you say witchcraft, it's which craft are you using?
You do know the kids don't even know what cursive is, do you?
They don't.
You know that, right?
Yeah, they don't. It ended in my generation. They started doing away with that as soon as they took the Bible out of school and the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, I don't see nobody. Kids are not even writing anymore. They don't know how. I guarantee you in about 25 years, there are going to be children that don't know how to write. Scribe. That's what it's scribe. They ain't even going to know how to do that. Because this is all they know. They're not even going to know how to even draw the character. And then later on down the road, later on down into the future, when you see somebody write that can write literature illegibly, they are going to be held to high regard as scribes in the future. They are going to be ancient in the future. And those kids, you're going to see some people who can't write. They're going to be like, man, your writing looks dumb. It looks hard. You're right. No, they haven't been taught. It's muscle memory. They haven't been taught that. So you mean to tell me that an infant right now can look up cocoa melon and don't even know how to spell it? Don't even know how to type it or write it. But they know who Cocoa Melon is. They know who SpongeBob is. They know what Disney is. They know what cartoons are. They don't know how to spell them.
Oh.
You mean to tell me they know all of these songs? These babies are singing, wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind. AK-47, Mac 11, lots of times. I don't know how to spell none of them words. Rehearse the word for word. It's a spellbind.
Yeah, man, you're right. I was tripping out. My son is 12 and 15. I was tripping out. They don't even have homework, and they don't even have books. Everything is on the computer. Everything, homework. They got these cameras and stuff. I said, son, where your books at? I said, son, you got homework? I don't have no homework, Daddy. I said, then what y'all supposed to do? And that's when I realized, like, man, wait a minute. When we was growing up, we had every subject you had a book for. And the heaviest one was the math book.
Yeah.
That was the heavy, and the hardest one was the social studies book.
Right.
In your backpack. Now
Right.
they don't carry no book bags. Everything is done on they give them a Mac computer. That's what their homework is. They do in class, and there's nothing that's brought home. When I found that out, I said, God, Lisa. So what I used to do with my sons, I haven't done it lately, but I used to tell them, go get a dictionary. If you didn't know a word, I said, go get a dictionary and look up the word. And I showed them how to look up a word in the dictionary. Because I try to tell them, I'm trying to teach you how to spell, and I'm trying to teach you how to communicate and talk. So,
can I interrupt real quick? I need to. Okay, one of the mods was like, no more negativity when I was putting up lame and male. It's an anagram. When you mix the letters up, an anagram is to mix the letters up and make another word. Male is lame, anagram. Only a man would get mad at that. That's crazy. That knowledge is not taught.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Marlene explained it to him.
And I seen it, but I had to get my because you see how I don't look qualified. You did? I don't look qualified to say
No, we can't judge the book by its cover.
Exactly. I'm not qualified, but this book right here, man, this thing got data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Petabytes, man. Petabytes. Hey, listen, fellas, we've been on for quite some time, man. Let's give our closing arguments or closing sentiments, comments, and let's close it out. Go, Shy.
All right. Now, I just want to say I appreciate it, man. Brother Pharaoh, Brother Mel, I enjoyed it, man. Good build, as always. And just a quick little thing about the internet. When you was talking, it kind of just came to my mind is that, one of the things the internet was originally used for was data collection.
Yes.
If you go back into the history of Vietnam, this is when they started to, it was part of something called ARPANET, Advanced Research Project Agency. So they instead of having things on the computer back then, they used to store stuff in cabinets. So they had to figure out a way to make it easier where, people won't come in and maybe steal the paperwork and all the intelligence they have on certain groups in Vietnam. So they began to create this technology through the Defense Department. So in reality, the internet is really a creation of the Defense Department, who created it to collect data. And that's what I want to say it went live in 69. That was the first time the internet actually went live. So if we understand what the internet was originally used for and see what it's even used for today, because they have everything saved, then we'll understand a little bit better of why and how it's used, mostly, some positive, of course, but mostly in a negative way. And unfortunately, sometimes the negative outweigh the positive stuff. But I think as long as we have these few that continue to spread the word, I believe those seeds will be planted, and soon those seeds will grow. Although it don't look like it at times, but it'll be more of us than not. So that's my piece, and I appreciate you, brothers, for tonight.
Oh, man, thank you, man. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, Shy. We appreciate it. We look forward to having you on again, man. You bring much to the table, man. Appreciate you. Dr. Duke, where we going?
The uncertainty of living is the cause of death. Professor is always illustrating, close the door. Close the door.
Lock the door.
Lock the door. Close the door. Lock the door. Lock the door. Put it away. It's done.
Yes.
It's over with.
You understand.
It's time for a new. The Bible expresses, put on the old, take off the old man, put on a new man. You can't put new wine in old wine skins. It's time for new beginnings. It's time for that. It's time to recreate, redefine, reillustrate, reconnect, and reassume a better position.
Appreciate you. Shout out to Dr. Ali, aka RO3. Shout out to the shot. We'll talk soon, fellas. Enjoy your evening.
All right, you too, brother. Good night.
Right on. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation, the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mill. I think we did a great bill right there. You guys, hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be back for another one soon, hopefully. Man, because I'm on the road, guys. I got to keep this roller coaster going, right? So we've been doing good. I've been having the energy, so I'm gonna keep my energy.
Perfect grind all the time, baby.
Yeah, Cali Finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money, got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block is that my shit go. Reach for the low.
Postmaster General, lock the door, because we are gone.